divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, the seekers and sojourners of truth. The 144, chosen of the chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I'm Akilahtextri, the divine energy essence of it all. Reporting to you live from none other than 5D, the fifth dimension, of course, right? AKA Celestial Earth. I'm in my earthy vibes right now, under my umbrella tree, as I call it, but my banana tree. Right? So as usual, I bring you the news to infuse, if you so choose to, infuse with this light. Let's get this light grid activation on. Activate. Right, so this I want to talk to you about. This was a meditation that I was really in the sun yesterday, right? I'm still portaling through, y'all. I told you will still feel the vibes, the energy, the resonance that is resounding, the vibrations, all of that for the 3 days, up to about 3 days past the 7-7 portal, right? So you still got a chance. You still got, what was today? Monday, Tuesday. You still got tomorrow, right? And you may feel it a little bit after that, but it's most potent, 3 days before. Sorry, 3 days after. So, in the sun for I don't even know how long, like just getting these codes, these angles of lights, right, through my transmissions. And I got something for you. So I'm going to share it. I know I'm always willing to share the download. So this is a fresh, they all fresh. If I get it, it's usually like a day, two maybe, but it's always fresh. So this one is the order of divine directions, and I wanted to make sure I, keep my notes up in front of me because this led into something else. So this is like the order of directions to remove recent updates was the totality of the message, but the first part was highlighting how the order of directions happens through the circle of elements, because in the way that I was meditating, I came out here, I told you all, meditate with the 4 elements, and I did not expect what I got. I did get something. So I was out here with the sun, with the earth. I had my incense because it wasn't too much wind, so I had to create wind. I had my sage lit, so that's the wind, and then I had my water. So I'm just sitting in the midst of it, and I'm just feeling what comes to me and just holding the vibrations. And this is what came out of it, and I wanted to share it with you because it gave instructions, right? When I share these, I share my downloads for those who are willing to listen. As I always say, those who have ears to hear, and whoever needed to get the instructions, whoever is in tuned already where these instructions or information that I give, if it aligns with you, you'll know it when you hear it. This one is really highlighting how to use the elements. For those of you who remember when I spoke about how the elements are directions, well, here is an actual order of utilizing the divine directions in a specific order. So if you even meditate with these elements, you may want to put it in this order, right? Just to share that with you, because there's a reason why it's done in a particular order. North, south, east, and west. All right, don't watch me because it depends on where you're sitting. This is south for me, that's north, that is east, and west is like right here over my shoulder, because right now I'm sitting in a northeast direction where I'm facing. So, but it doesn't matter literally where you sit, it's how you surround the elements around you, if that makes sense. If you're going to utilize something to represent each element, for example, the calendar, I was going to say the calendar, I guess I'm supposed to mention the calendar is like, okay, what they call it, housekeeping, time for me to housekeep. So stick a pin on that, let me housekeep, I'll take the cue from spirit. So some housekeeping. Reminder about the calendar, the 5D calendars are out. Thank you for those who are interested and who have been inquiring. I'm personalizing the ones who ordered, the first 9 people. As I said, I will personalize it, so I'm personalizing those and getting those out to you. Who else? What else is there? The 5D calendar is amazing, and I updated. I actually, before, while personalizing, I updated some information to add to it. So it's awesome, awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. That's how you know you got children. So that's with the 5D calendar. So remember, get yours at a 5D corner near you. Tap in, tune into that fifth dimension, that corner, that block. Get on the 5D block, and order that. Get an email if you want to know how to order it. I've been putting it in the description below. If it's not in right away, as I've been saying, look at the video before this. Most likely it has the information in there, and how to place your order. Also, what else? The detox, the detach is amazing. It is, people are seeing some things in them within the first week, so we decided to extend the second week into another trend. This is another transition week, so this is why I said you have some time to catch up. I'm actually going to be adding someone again today while we're in the second week, but it is also transition, so we're still transitioning. Next week is when it will be a strict 2-week detox after we transition in, because it is not easy. It is a little difficult. It depends on how you are, but it takes mental, spiritual, emotional. It is detaching. It is detoxing to detach, and so it takes effort, right? So with that, those are the housekeeping catch-ups, updates, anything else. If you got this far, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. Put the comments below. Thank you for those who've been commenting. I do need to catch up again with some more commenting. I want to say, like, maybe the last 2 videos, so I will be catching up the last 2 or 3. Pardon me, because I was pushing time. Whenever I'm in my time pushing mode, it's a little difficult because my time is set differently from everybody else's, and it becomes a little tiresome when doing that with the children. Like, we're completely, for those who don't know what the time pushing is, and I may need to do a video just discussing that. It's like it takes us a week to cycle through pushing time, and every day that we do it, we go to bed like 2 hours later, every day, and it pushes and pushes and pushes time. But while we're pushing time, we're falling behind time. We fall out of the day that everybody is in. So we'll find that as we do that, when everyone else is on Friday, we're still on our Thursday. Like, it kind of works out that way. Like, we end up being a day behind. And so what I see is that we're actually detaching from their timeline in this timely design, if that makes sense. Some may understand it, some may not, but this is how I've been directed since about, actually last year July was the first time that it happened to me, and I thought I was crazy. But I'll give you a story. That's a story for another day. We'll talk about pushing time, because some people they ask me about it and they want to know how does it go, so I will share that. But that's housekeeping. So with that out the way, let's go into this order of divine directions that I'm telling you about, because it is divinely orchestrated as so. So as I was saying, I stuck a pin at fire. So sitting within the elements, let's go back to that. While you're sitting within the elements, let's say you have fire, a candle for fire, an incense for wind, a container of water, however a little tub, a little water, however you place your water, and something that represents earth. It could be a potted plant. It could literally be just a container of dirt, like whatever represents earth for you. I prefer to use like a potted plant. You place that in a circle, and you place the potted plant, which is earth, at the south direction. You place the water at the west direction. You place the fire, the candle, at the north direction, and you place the incense or whatever you have lit that is having the smoke, the incense or sage. You place that at the east for the eastward winds, right? So those are the directions, right? This is why I say the elements are directions. They tell you where to go. This is how, when you're reading your chart, how to know where it's telling you, how it's telling you where to go, by what element it's in, right? It's whole another reading. This one is about the order. So as I'm doing this, what came up is that there's a circle coming from the south. It's like as if we're supposed to start at the south, and the order of direction is to go from the south to the west. So you go in that circle, right? This is the circle of the elements that you're going to go through, from south to west to north to east, right? All the way around. Complete circle will be bringing it back south, right? Which makes sense in the last part. Okay. And as I went through that, as it was highlighted to me at the end of that, I heard remove the recent updates. I went into a quick vision. It's like I appropriated that, I understood it, and then it took me into a quick vision where it was highlighting, and I literally heard remove the updates to allow the flow of origins. That's bringing it back. I feel like that's bringing it all the way full circle back to the past, back to the south, because there's information from the origins, let's just say from the south, right? Like that's ground zero, or the point of neutrality, something like that. But bringing it all the way full circle till it's highlighting to you, we need to allow that flow of information to come through. Anywho, so let me go right into that, explaining, and just to highlight, as you hear this, you'll hear me describing what seems to be like the tree of life forming in you. The tree of knowledge is really what it was said, the tree of knowledge, which the tree in us is our spine, right? That's your tree. All your veins and everything that branches out, your nerves and all of that, that's like the branches from your spine, right? So just kind of keep that in mind as you may hear me put that in quotes as I was going. So this is a direction. Here we go. Coming from the south, in the earth, going into the past through the roots from this life, past life, and interstellar life, right? Just meaning in between stars, whatever star life you may come from, to bring it up into the tree of knowledge, our spine. So basically imagine south, not just in that direction, but southward. Imagine it coming up from your roots, right, as representing the south. The roots are usually beneath you, south of you. Imagine it coming up, right? And so into the tree of knowledge, into your spine, right? So it's coming up from the south in the earth, going into the past. So basically the south represents as well coming from the past in whatever way. This life, past life, interstellar life, all of that coming up and bringing it up into the tree of knowledge, all that we need, right? So coming from there to the west in the waters, bringing it into the external outer world, because the reason why is because west represents out, east represents in, like going within, and west represents going out. So into the outer world through the emotions as sensational feelings that indicate and instruct what is happening, to highlight where you can take it into your doing. Like where can you take it in your doing? Not into, but in your doing, right? So let me say that again. To the west in the waters, bringing it into the external outer world through the emotions, energy and motion, as sensual or sensational, meaning sensory, sensational feelings that indicate and instruct what is happening, to highlight where you can take it in your doing. How can you go about it in your doings, right? So again, coming from the south and then what? Into the west. So that past that comes up, it's going into the west, meaning take it outward, into the outward world where there are the sensations. Remember, waters represent emotions. Hence why I'm saying the sensations, the feelings. This is how it was shown to me. So it's coming from the south to come into that outer world. And in the outer world, we go by sensory, right? How we sense things, what we sense, how we sense, why we sense. Brings it into sensation for us to get the feeling of what it is, for us to know what it is, right? So it is that, and that way we can know where we can take it in our doing. Where is it going? These feelings, these sensation comes in, where are we going in our doing? It is what branches out of your tree. So imagine, tree of knowledge, and now branching out, going outwards into the external world. So that's what the West represents. So coming from the South, coming from the past, taking it now out into the outer world, branching out, right? Towards the north. This is going into the fire now. Towards the north in the fire, to remove the impurities and refine the gold, right? Which is going into the golden age. If you think about it like that, we're on our way into the golden age. We're not quite there. A lot of people say that, but we're not in the golden age. We are in the bronze age. We just came out of the iron age, but we're ascending into the golden age, right? Anyhow, I digress. To remove the impurities and refine the gold, right? Into that golden age, extracting what isn't needed, right? When you remove impurities, you're extracting what's not needed. So extracting what isn't needed in the external, remember, we're just coming from the external in the West. So now when you carry it north, the fire is doing two things. It's removing the impurities and it's refining the gold. It's taking out the things that you don't need to get into the golden age. Extracting what isn't needed in the external and unblocking the flow of energy through the tree in order to utilize what the past is bringing to light the way in moving forward. So remember, ultimately we were coming from the past. So in order to utilize that, right, as we're coming from the past, it has to bring it up into our external world. And then when it comes into the fire, now it needs to extract what we don't need, because we have all these feelings, right, that are giving us all these instructions. We don't need to take everything. We need to take out what we don't need so that we can really extract, right, remove what's blocking the flow, right, which is the junk things in the external world, right, and utilize what the past is really bringing to light the way in moving forward. To do what? To ignite, initiate, and instigate new true blooms to grow in their projected potential as the leaves spread the word. So moving forward, right? And this is why I say the leaves, because this is where the leaves fill the branches as more receptors of light for the tree. You know how the leaves take in the light from the tree. So at the north part, that's like another example. Before I get into explaining the leaves, right? Because that's where I'm not trying to. I'm paralleling the tree aspect of it with this. But I want us to really understand what's happening as we come into the north fires. North is our trajectory, where we're going, right? But we need that fire to burn out the impurities that are coming from the external, from the West. We don't need all of that, so we need to burn them out. The fire is doing two things. It's burning, removing, and then by taking what we do extract from the messages of the past that are coming through the external, because we need to feel it to know it. So when we get that true message from the past that we need, then we light the way. Then the fire is also doing its second part. So after removing impurities, the fire is now lighting the way. It is igniting. It is instigating and igniting the new and true blossoms to start growing on the tree, right? The blooms, I should say, to grow in their projected potential. So it's now the projected potential. Where are we going? Here's the projection of where we're going. So that's that part. Now to explain the leaves about it, the leaves are now, this is where if you parallel it to the tree, the leaves fill the branches as more receptors of light for the tree. So this is where I say, as you think about it, the leaves take in the light, and this is from what? The sun, the fire. So fire, once again, this is the fire doing what it does. That fire penetrates the leaves. It gives the leaves the light information that it needs, and then the leaves are now, they now start to like fill the branches up as more receptors of light. They're receiving the light, right? So this is all a part of the tree aspect as well, that parallels this whole circle of elements. So to sum it up to where we are, coming from the past, bringing things from the south, from the past into the west, the water, sensations into the outer world, and then bringing it north, bringing it into the west so that we can know what it is, we can feel it to know it, and then bringing it to the north to extract what we don't need in the outer world, so we can take what we do need, that the south is coming to tell us from our past life, interstellar life, all of that, that we need to go forward, right, in our projected potential, lighting the way. Then, right, this is the last element here. So after that, then bringing all of that, coming from the south to the west, towards the north, and going into the east in the wind to bring it inward, right, through the energetic exchange of this light energy information into the bloom of what is to come into fruition, from the tree of knowledge, right? So bringing it inward. Remember I said east is inward. So when we're coming around now, all that I have just said, from the past, the west, the south past, into the west external, into the north projected future, removing what we don't need, and then carrying that is in our projected potential, now bringing it within, right? The eastward wind. The wind brings it in. If you think about it like that, right? The wind brings it in. So think of the wind that is coming in, and it's bringing it inward. And as we bring it into our tree of life, right? Now it's coming inward into the bloom. That's why I said that what takes fruition comes into the fruition of the tree of knowledge. So now you will see that fruit that forms because of the information that has been coming in, right? Remember, the leaves were being better receptors of the light, and then what happens is the blooms start to form, and that information is being carried within, back into the tree, as that information comes in from the sun, right? It takes it in, and the tree takes it right back in, down the stem and all of that. So it's speaking back life into that tree, right? And then it tells it the information. It tells it what to grow. Like, I don't think we think of it like that sometimes, but that's what's happening. It's giving it the information to tell it what to grow according to its patent, its pattern, its cosmic design, or its, I want to say, according to its natural design, right? It's divine design. There we go. The divine design. So paralleling it to the tree as I'm doing now, it tells you that it brings that information inward. So now that this thing can bloom. And what does this mean for all of us? For those who can get it. It's how we can utilize these elements, the divine direction with a circle of elements, and understanding what is coming through us, what is coming from us into our outer world, so we can understand what it is, extract what we don't need. We don't need everything, right? We are in human form, so yes, we have to feel things, sensory, all of that, but it is for us to take what we need from the sensation. Let the fire remove the things that we don't need, and then what needs to come in, we allow that to come in with the wind, right? Because when you think about it, when you burn something and it goes up in smoke, right, in the wind, let's say you burn something up with the fire, it goes up in smoke. Let it blow with the wind. Let the wind bring it in, and then as it comes in and blows in right, it's bringing it back in, paralleling it to the tree. It's bringing it back into what? The information, into the blooms, the blossoms, to take fruition, so that something can start to form. So whatever it is that we form, or that we're bringing, speaking of this 5D earth, this is about expanding. This is a 5D explanation, by the way, in what I'm saying. If you can understand the frequencies, the light frequencies that are accelerating and all of that, if you can understand that, understand, overstand, and understand, this is a fifth dimensional type of activity explanation, right, in order to get it. How to take yourself to the next level. It's a practical application, right? It's understanding how these divine directions follow the circle of elements, just to even in your consciousness, even if you don't do this literally, right? You don't have to literally set the elements around you, although it helps. Because as I said, how this came to me is when I literally sat outside yesterday in the sun and had the elements around me and just really taking it in. So getting an understanding for yourself. Go into your soul and do your own soul work and see what is coming up from your past. What is coming up from your whether this past life, for those of you who know your past life, right? Whether the past in this life is what I meant to say, or whether it may be from your past life, for those who know it, or your interstellar life, for those of you who know what star you came from, who know why you're here. Some people know more than others their intergalactic mission, the transmission that you are on in this co-mission with all of us here, in this dynamic, in this set. All right, so there's much to be done, and the fruition is what shows up in our life, world, and affairs. The fruit. It doesn't necessarily mean something tangible, but it is the fruition of what it is we need to see. For us, a lot of us right now, that fruition may be what is coming up in 5D for us, right? What is the fruition of your consciousness expanding? Are you seeing your expanded consciousness come into fruition, right? Are we still living in fear, right? Wherever there's fear, love cannot exist. Fear and love do not exist in the same, coordinates. So are you living in the love frequency? Are you living in the unity frequency, right? And that's 5D. 5D is the love frequency, the unity frequency. So are we expanded to that level, to that degree, right? So as that came in, as I got that last piece of it, I was appropriating all of that. I was like, okay, got it. I got to share this. I'm going to have to share this, which I am. So I'm letting you guys know, utilize it in whatever way it works for you, right? It's the order of divine directions through the circle of elements. Utilize it, south, west, north, east, and bring it on in, right? And then here's the part now where I feel like it came full circle. Once I appropriated it, it's like, all right, I got it, got the fruit, and I'm gonna bite it, and I appropriated it. And so when I took that fruit, that is when I heard, remove the recent updates to allow the flow from the origins. That is I would say, felt like the full circle, because that flow of origins is whatever was coming from the south, which is whatever is coming from not just our past, but our future, for those who can understand it. When I say coming from the south, at this point and where we stand in Earth right now, it would appear to be south, as in behind us, the past behind us, but it's also our future, right? Because in divine time, all is simultaneously. Past is simultaneous, past, present, future, right? So it's coming from our past, but our future selves as well, our multi-dimensional self, and whatever star that we come from, it includes all of that in coming from the past. So those are our point of origins, where you come from. So allowing the flow from the origins, right? In order to do what? To restore the distorted memories in time, because we have a lot of distortions happening right now. And this is where I feel like the message is really important right here, because of what is going on, because of how I can sense the volume of distractions right now, and we really would want to pay attention. I was going to say need to, and I don't like to tell people what they need to do. I know what I need to do. Pay attention. So this is where it was shown to me. So as I appropriated those circles, it was now remove the recent updates. So like how the phones get updates and things like that, we're constantly being updated, right? And we need to remove these updates. Don't just keep taking these updates, y'all, because it's blocking us. It's blocking us from allowing the flow of origins, because with the frequencies of the light that are picking up, there's more information coming in, whether it's from, of course, from the sun. Is also coming in from the south, right? From the past, from our interstellar information, all of that is coming through us. It wants to come through these channels, but it's blocked by the updates. There are too many updates of, let's say, junk and things like that. So let me just share with you what I got with that. I'm gonna do it quick because it's getting darker, right? We are constantly being blocked by recent updates, which do not allow for the true recognizance and the recollection of memories, to realize and reconnect in our mind-body complex, right? In order to repent and rebuke the distorted memories of mal-programming in our soul, to restore our transmissions, the missions that we are on, right? Of the remembering that we are a part of. Remember, we're all a part of the remembering. So simply what this is saying is that we're constantly being blocked right now with all these recent updates, the distractions. It's like an update, right? And it doesn't allow for the true realization, the true recognition, for us to recollect, right? The memories. Remember, we're memory complex beings, and it's hard for us to recollect the memories in order to realize, in order for us to remember the codes that we're getting, even through the Sirius gateway. It's hard for it to come through because of the blocks that we have. So it's like I'm hearing this urgency to remove. It's like they're saying, remove your recent updates, remove them, they're blocking you. It's kind of like with that kind of urgency, right? So as we follow the order of great divinity, which I call God is the great order of divinity. It's all of this. But as we follow that order, right, through the divine directions of the elements in time, as we were just instructed, we are being obedient to a spiritual law or a formula that guides us in the direction we should go, with the instructions to take, right? And each of us have different instructions. It's not identical. It is not the same. I'm only giving you the formula, that circle, go around in that circle of elements to see through the order of direction what is for you, right? Because everybody is different. So it'll tell you which ones to take. This order our steps, because that's what this is. When you hear them say, order my steps, Lord, like this is the real order my steps, right? This order my steps in a divine path it orders our steps. There we go, sorry. This orders our steps in a divine path to navigate through the soul's unfolding journey. It's helping us to navigate through. It's helping us to navigate to get through these waters, these turbulent times, through the air, through however you're traveling. It's helping us to navigate through into the fifth dimension, right? As the earth is already there. It is just us who need to expand our consciousness to meet her there, so that we can continue to evolve and not be stuck in soul stagnation. And I'm going to talk about that in another, because there was something else that came up yesterday, really important, that I want to highlight to us that we ought to pay attention to in regards to, let's say, what I'm going to call the 10-year plan or the 10-year agenda. But we'll get to that, because that highlights why it's important for us to do what we're doing right now, right? It is in these changing times that ones must be careful to not allow the external update to block the internal downloads we are receiving from the ancient ones through the origins of true time-space reality. This is a practical application to practice consistently and persistently in all ways of possibility, divine love. That's exactly how it came. So I'm sharing that last part was like, hey, this is a warning, right? It is in these changing times that we're having that ones must be very careful to not allow these external updates. So we gotta be mindful in what's happening right now. And so we're being charged with the truth. We're being charged to know the truth, to be in the truth, to remove any updates that we're having. So a lot of these external things, remember what I was saying, take the external. When you're going from the west to the north, when you get into the fire is removing a lot of the impurities. We don't need a lot of these updates. Do not fall for it. And they do it, a lot of you are doing it and you don't even realize. Just practices like things that come up on your phone. They constantly have you updating. Please know that this is what they're also doing to us out here in the world. It's constantly updating you, renewing something. And what happens is if they keep updating you and you keep saying okay to the updates, you are consistently blocking the flow of energy and information that wants to come through to remember, for us to be a part of the remembering and have a soul synapsis. We have to allow ourselves to be open to receiving through the flow of origins of time and space. And we can't do that when we have a lot of updates and blocks. So don't fall for these gadgets. I'm not saying nothing all technology is bad, but we must be very careful. We must be grounded in the earth, be able to receive your downloads. If we keep allowing them to update us, we will not be able to receive the downloads, and we're getting so much of them right now, especially through this Sirius gateway. If you haven't gotten a chance, do a meditation with the Sirius gateway. Get out in the sun, get out in the elements, and really get your codes, right? Whatever dreams you're getting, pay attention to them. This is a time to really step into that next step, ordering our steps in the way of this divine direction. We have the instructions, we have the directions. We just got to use them, right? So I'm going to leave it there because it's getting dark and I don't have the light where I am under my umbrella tree, except for this little light beaming behind me, but I'm losing light, right? I take that back. I'm never losing light. That don't even sound right. I'm never losing light. I am the light, right? But I am, you all know what I mean, visual. And thank you for those of you who stick with me, who have been here through all of everything that's going on. And I want to apologize for, I think the last two videos, I know there was a video, maybe the last one, that there's been some delays in the last two videos. I think when I look back and saw it was some delays, it might have chipped out. My apologies as usual. Well, let me not apologize, because as one of you reminded me, and I got to remind myself, it's all good. Those who are here for the message will get the message. It's not about the visual. It's not about, it's not going to be perfect. I'm not trying to make nothing perfect. As I give it to you, I don't edit nothing. However you get it, this is what it is, raw and uncut. But if that's uncomfortable, I just want to acknowledge that I noticed it as well. So, but thank you for rocking with me as you do. All right. Choo, 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 coming through in the 5D dimension, doing what we do. With that, reminding us, those who made it this far, again, please remember to like, subscribe, share, tap that bell so you can get notified when I do drop something, and keep the support coming. The more subscribers, then we'll be able to finally do a live. But I am happy wherever it is right now, as long as I could share the information and you get it. And thank you for those who respond and appreciate the light and are receptive. And reciprocity, that's one of my biggest things, receptivity and reciprocity. So with that said, I'm going to leave it right there. I love you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. See, we always got light. More light, more light. Peace, love, and light.